Hello, it's me, Troy, from Scare Hollow, and today we are going to start a brand new how-to, and I'm hopefully going to be able to get this out pretty quickly because it has to be done by the end of the week. So the Northwest Haunters Association is putting on a camp out this weekend, and one of the things that we're going to make is milk jug skulls. I've never done a milk jug skull before, so that's what we're going to do today. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to be making stands for them. But I will tell you a few things of what you're going to need for this class, or for this make and take, or project. Everybody already knows milk jug skulls, but for those who don't, this is the brand new tutorial, I guess. I'm going to be following a couple other people's tutorials, Evil Olive and another guy, monster tutorials. So I'll be probably mixing a little both of those when I do this. So resin skull, any kind you like, but make sure it's resin. I mistakenly thought the foam would work. It does not. It melts. He's an idiot. He thought foam would work. So skull, milk jug, milk jug, milk jug. You're gonna need a heat gun, and you're gonna need a water dish. Don't steal your cat or your dogs, because that is icky. And wrong. And a sponge. And so one of the things that a lot of people make is they make some sort of a stand for theirs as well. So I was driving, I'm a courier by day, and a hunter by night. And I drove by this place that does industrial crating and packing. So like they pack up machines to go on trucks and go to another location. Well, they happen to have a bunch of pieces of cut off wood in a bin outside. I drove by once, I grabbed a bunch. I drove by again later on today. The whole bin was gone. So I don't know if they're loading it back up with more stuff or what, but I'll be going there a lot because that's some great stuff. They also had these super cool pieces of thin wood like that. So I just grabbed a bunch because who doesn't need flat wood like this? That's weird. So what we're gonna do is I tried a couple of different things before I landed on my, I didn't want to do it this way, but I'm gonna have to in the end. So hole in the wood. No, you're thinking very naughty. Naughty wood. You can laugh. It's okay. You can always laugh at me. Always laugh at me. So one of the things I did, didn't realize that it was a face beforehand. I drilled both things. I was like, oh, it's a face. So we're gonna go like this, so it's not a face. So one of the things I tried to do, and it actually does work. The hole saws that I have are just on the other side of this pipe. So one is too big, one is too small. The idea is that you could take the pipe and stick it in the hole, but it would not go all the way through, see? So then you only have to do that. If you can figure out a way to do that, that would be awesome. If you have a hole saw that fits your piece of pipe, I just happen to have 1.5 inch pipe, I probably could get some 1.25 inch, but then I've got to do a whole new rig, basically. And so I found out that if you take one hole saw and then you do another hole saw in the same hole, it creates a little bit of like a section in there that you have that you can then use the hole saw drill bit that's in there and guide around it while you're using your drill press, and that will make a nice hole. It's just not flat inside. So when you put it in, now granted I'm holding this, but this one actually kind of sits off to the side. So as you can tell, it's not flat. There's really no way to get it flat because you're pushing a beveled bit into a, trying to make a flat thing with a beveled bit. You're not going to do it. So you're always going to have some ridges on it. So I think the best way to do it, and this is how I'm going to do mine, is put the PVC pipe in the hole, but don't, it doesn't matter if it goes all the way through, because then I'm going to use the goes through. I'm going to use this piece of wood as a base, put that over the top. I'm going to wood glue it to this. Ta-da! Stand. What you're also going to do is once you have it in there, we're going to hot glue around this. Use the wood glue for in here, or liquid nails, whatever you want to do. Clamp it for a while, let it set, and then put your pipe in there and hot glue around here. That will keep the pipe straight, and then you can mount the skull on top of here. What you're gonna have to do is on your pipe, you are gonna have to cut it like this, because the bottom of the skull is not flat. So the idea is that, see how it's like that, and then it sits, and it actually does sit very nicely. I didn't cut this, it was already cut that way, so it was just magic that it happened like that. You probably have to do it a couple times to get it to sit just right, but then once you have that, then you can hot glue that to it. I believe it was Evil Olive that I got the idea from to do the hot glue with this. He did say that after a while, because of the heat that you're putting on it from stuff like that, the glue will break down. So he said about every 3 to 4 milk jug skulls, he just has to put a couple more beads of hot glue underneath here to reattach this to it. I'm sure there's another better way to do it as well, but this is a quick way to do it. You know, everybody, all of us figure out our own way anyways. Once we do all these things, we figure out a better way to do it while we're doing it. So so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you what I do with the drill press, make the whole base another one, and because I'm actually making 12 of these bases and skulls for the class, because there's 12 people taking the class. So I'm gonna move my camera. Got a new tripod. Super coolness. Oh, I gotta figure. There's all these knobs and I have no idea what any of them do. So, alright. So that looks good. Alright. Mine has a fancy dancy. Well, it's supposed to. It's got lasers and a light. We're going to use the light because I don't need a laser because it's laser. Anyways, so I probably should have checked if this was straight, if this was centered on there before I clamped it. I guess it doesn't have to be centered, but we're going to go ahead and try to center it best we can. I would recommend, just so you're not using your hand strength, I'd recommend clamping it on there. See? I should be a drummer. Anyways, so turn your drill press on. I will put in the description what size this is. I'll look after I'm done. But we're just gonna go ahead and and always, if you want, you get a shop vac and run it while you're doing this. It'll suck all the stuff out of it. And we're gonna go. Whoa! Blooper. Always make sure that your bits are always make sure that your bits are tight. And always go slow. Because that'll happen. Alright, so depending on how thick your wood is, this is going to be full of those. You're going to have to flip it over. For some reason, you wouldn't think you'd have to, and I bet you that if you were to take this board and actually put a couple boards underneath here, like a couple, maybe another 2x4 or something like that, or a 1x2 or something, and you put them on either side of this, it may go all the way through. And I may try that with another one. But for this, I'm going to make it easy so you don't have to really make anything else. Always dump your shavings. Oh, I just hit the camera. Always dump your shavings. Alright, we're gonna see, it's super easy now because now you just line that right back up again with the hole. You don't have to clamp on both sides if you don't want to. There we go. But I found that it was easier. But I'm gonna not do it on this part so you can watch. tartar sauce. All right. That's kind of cool. All right. Oh, I probably should have. Now I have to lower this down. All right. So now, hello, hello, holy. It's very holy. Let's try it. Snug as a bug. This tutorial is just full of innuendos. Okay, so now that we have that done, we're going to... You could like save these for like fire starters. It'd be a great little thing, you know? I'm sure we can find another use for these somewhere in haunted house stuff. I don't know. But for now, I'm gonna throw it in the garbage. But you could use them as a fire starter. That would be cool. Always reuse if you can. So one of the unfortunate parts is these pieces, these boards are not cut already to the size that I want. So we're gonna have to mark it off. Over here to my handy dandy trusty. You know, I don't have a table saw. I have room for a table saw now, but I don't have one. So I gotta do it the cool chop saw way. Alright. So, piece of wood, all cut, ready to go. Alright. So, you know what, we're gonna move these ones off. Alright, so we have our nice piece of flat wood that will then make this super flat like that. Put that down there. Boom! Look at that. That's so cool. Alright, so we're going to take, you know what, it really doesn't matter which side you do it on. So we're going to get our wood glue. I gotta go get my wood glue. Probably get some more of this. We don't even need that much. Alright, and you know what? We got more clamps. We got more clamps than we can shake a stick at. Don't shake sticks at clamps. That. Alright. We're gonna let that sit for a while. Look at this. This looks like I'm a woodworker. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody I look like a woodworker. Alright, so we're gonna set that aside. Let that set. And we're gonna come back in a little bit. And we'll get the hot glue out and do all that kind of stuff. And we'll... Yeah, it sounds wrong too. Alright, so I'm going to dip down here a little bit. I don't have to move. You know what? I'll just move it up. Hey. So, one thing I forgot to film, because I was just going, was pipe. So, I cut them all at 8 or 9 inches. I was going to do them all at 9 inches, and then somehow I measured it, and one was 9, and one was 10, and one was 8. Don't ask. I suck at measuring things. Anyways, so, 9 inches, 10 inches, 8 inches, whatever you want to make it. You know, just tall enough so that it's off the base, obviously. And then I did it at, it's between 22 and 30 degrees, so let's just say 25 degrees. I just did a 25-degree cut. You can see that. Obviously the other side's flat, you know. So, I did I did 14 of them, or however many is here. Obviously, there's a big mess with all of the shavings that come off of this, so obviously have your shop vac ready. I had my shop vac attached to my chop saw, and so I did it that way, but it's still all over the place. So,
Daddy.
all right. So, the next step is hot glue gun. 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 Hot glue sticks. Hot glue sticks. And then your base and your pipe. Yes, mine's white. It's white. It doesn't matter which way you turn it. Obviously, if you have a square thing like this, that's fine. Obviously, on some of these, I think that it's going to make more sense, depending on what size. As you can tell, this you could go either way. I think that for this, I think it would make more sense if it was this way. I would leave it like this, because then it is lengthwise. You have a little more structure going this way. If this, I mean, it's a solid piece. It ain't gonna go nowhere. I mean, if you're working at an incline or something like that, don't do that. Also, these are not fireworks tubes, so do not use them as fireworks tubes. Though I think they probably work. So let's go with that one first. Oh, we're dripping glue. So yeah, I would clip your little thing back there, and ooh, that's awfully goopy. And then yeah, I would you know, obviously don't handle it too much. It really doesn't matter what it looks like. Cookies are done. Alright, so obviously that stick is pretty much done. We'll stick another one in there. You know, I probably should have some sort of a thing to put. Oh, look at this. Put this on there. Cords. These dang cords. Doesn't feel really good. So now we got that gluing. So do as many more of these as you want, and obviously hot glue sets pretty fast. But we'll start doing all the rest of these and get to gluing. Okay, so while I was getting ready to start mounting these skulls, this one's already mounted. Nope, that was not mounted. Not mounted. Ah! So, this one's mounted. See, it's good. That one's mounted. He's good. But what I was doing was I was noticing that it has the little cavity right there. Okay, well, the little two cavities. So you get like, I think it's like a bowling one, so you can like, that's pretty cool actually. So you can like hold it like this. Not very sturdy. Anyways, so back to the real problem. Here's its nose. Obviously that's where its nose cavity is. But see there's a little bridge right there? Well, I was like, man, all of these little pipes just sit on that little nose, and you can't really, like, you know, it's hard to get a bunch of glue in there and stuff like that because there's a big hole to fill. So what I did was I took my Dremel with a drill bit. I don't know what size, but big enough. Took the drill bit and did that. And then, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it sits, I don't know, no, you can't really see it, but it sits down in it. Now, of course, it's still not 100% level because obviously all of this back here is not level, but there's a lot more flat spaces and ridges that you can grab the hot glue with if you find your little cut there and put it on there. You know, you can make it straight. you know, so that it sits there. Obviously, you should really cut the. I did not cut mine. At a good enough angle, but still, so I can glue that now. One of the other things that I'm trying to do is all of these skulls that I bought from Amazon, and I'll put the link down below of where I got these. They're cast resin skulls. They were $13.99, so that's super cheap. So what I've been doing is I was trying to see if I just go like this and just leave this in there like that, stays up by itself. Boom. Now you can glue like crazy in there and get a lot in there. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it right now. Since we have the video on, we're gonna do it right now. Yes, we are. So we do a lot in the back, a lot there, and a lot over here. Obviously you want to get the pipe, not your own thing there.
I'll catch her again, give her eternal death from above. I am a creature of the night.
Another way to do it is to like sort of make some blobs down there, let it dry, and then attach, and then do more to it to attach to the blobs that are attached to the skull. So you're basically building up the resin even higher, but with hot glue instead. So don't let any, you know, toddlers in the room or anything like that to bump this. So each one, what's cool is each one of these skulls comes with one of these bases. So really, you could sit here and just be like, okay, I'm gonna make another one now. Now you make another one and let that one sit there. Obviously, some of mine are, some of my bases are a lot bigger than these little guys. So you're probably gonna have to hold those because I think the weight's gonna, you know, shift a little bit. But we're gonna cut some of these pipes with this Dremel thing here and see. Watch. Now you're gonna have more freaking shavings everywhere. See, hate those shavings. But so, see, I still didn't make it straight. It's tough to make this straight because it wants to travel to the way that the blade is turning, obviously. But let's see how this does. Look at that. Oh, let's see. That's a little off-centered. But problem is each one of these skulls is made a little bit different. They're cast out of the same mold, but I've noticed that some of them have, like this one seems to have a little bit. Well, no, I guess they're the same. So, but yeah, that little cut thing is another little anchor point for this to hit. I'm sure you could, you could probably spend an hour shaping the bottom of that pipe or the top of the pipe to fit this contour back here, but, you know, these are for milk jug skulls. Don't spend too much time on it, you know? I'm spending a lot of time on it only because this is my first time and I'm kind of doing this type of thing with it. But I'm sort of a perfectionist with this kind of stuff. Don't tell my wife. So I kind of want to try different ways to do it before I say, this is the way you should do it, which is never the way. With haunting, it's never the way. You can always do many other different ways. So this is my way. It's not your way. It's not the highway. So bye. No. So we'll be back. I will do some more of these and we'll be back. Alright, so that's 5 on the floor that are already done. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I will have 13 done. I'm going to do 4 more tomorrow night. I think I'm going to be done for tonight. I'm going to do 4 more tomorrow night when I get home. And then I'm also going to do a milk jug skull on one of these so that I learn how to actually do the process. I'm going to cut this down to the wire because the class is on Saturday. And I am still learning. So we're going to have some fun with this. and we're gonna get it done. But anyways, so back to kind of the how-to. So basically all I did was I cut the little notch in there and I put it in. I just kind of leveled them out as best I could. Like I said, they don't have to be straight because you're just going to do the milk jug skull on them. One thing that I did realize while I was making these was, if you notice on the very top, they're flat. They're flat, you know. Home Depot and Amazon both sell what are called Lazy Susans, or turntable bearings also, but on Home Depot and Amazon you'll find them under Lazy Susans. And they're metal circles. Sometimes they're wood and stuff like that for kitchens, but they also make them for like TVs and things like that. And they're just two metal square cutouts basically of circles, and they've got bearings in the middle of them, and they spin. So what you do is you basically screw in one side of it to the bottom of this, and the other side just spins. So then you could then put this on your table and then let it spin. So then you can work on it. I believe I'm pretty sure Alan Hops has several turntables for his masks and stuff like that. I'm sure I think you could also even use like a pottery wheel as well. But yeah, so Lazy Susans, that's a new little add-on to it. Of course, I'll put that in the bottom of the description here of where to get those. I saw them. They have 6-inch ones at Home Depot, and they're in the stores, and then they've got 4-inch ones on Amazon. Basically $4 to $6. So that's pretty cheap. In the end, if you can, you buy the pipe, you buy the skull, you buy the cut your pieces of wood that you find in your stash of wood. You could be looking at a $20 to $25 thing here. The skull's being 14 and the pipe, you got to buy a 10-foot stick of pipe, so that's $6-7, and then if you don't have the piece of wood, then that's another $6 or $8, so I mean, if you don't have the wood, you're looking at a little more like $40, but if you have the wood, then you're looking more at about 25, even with the Lazy Susan. So that's a pretty cheap little product there for or cheap little thing to make milk jug skulls. $25. So, all right. Well, we'll be back with the milk jugging. Ha.